What's up, nerds? It's McKinley, and today I am doing my first 5 books that I've read this year. In my bookish goals, I said I was going to do every 5 books, I was going to do a wrap up, and I'm still going to, but I also said I was going to throw my comics in, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do comics in a monthly wrap up, so whatever comics I read that month, I'm just going to do a monthly wrap up at the end. So my books will just stay in one, and then if you care about the comics, it'll be in another one. That just seems like the best way for me to do it, but in my wrap-ups, I'm going to check in with my reading challenges and tell you the 5 books that I read and my thoughts, so let's get right into it. The first 2 books I read this year were books 4 and 5 of the Lemony Snicket books. If you don't know what those are, which I know you do, but it's about 3 the Baudelaire kids whose parents died in a fire, and in the first book they are sent to live with Count Olaf, a distant relative who treats them horribly and just wants their money, basically. The money that the oldest is going to inherit when she turns 18. And then so every book after that is a new relative that they get sent to, and Count Olaf is the villain in all of them. And basically, if you read one, I'm sure people are going to be so mad at me, but I despise these books. I'm pretty much done reading them. I don't think I'm going to continue. I might read the last 2 just to see, but I think I read 5 and 6 this month, actually. I'd have to check, but I'll show pictures of both of them next to me, but I hate them. I hate them. It's the same book over and over again. They get sent to a new relative. Count Olaf pops up somewhere. No one believes them that it's him, and eventually he reveals himself, and then they move on to the next relative. It is literally the same in every book. The 5th or 6th book, I think it is the 6th one. The 6th one is a little different because they're not with a relative. They get custody of a town. I don't know. They're shit. I don't understand why they're so popular. I read them because I wanted to watch the series, and I probably still will attempt the series because I like, Patrick Harris a lot, but I just really hate those books, and I'm flabbergasted that they are so popular. Moving on, the next book I read was Drag Teen by Jeffrey Self. I got it from the library, I already returned it, but this is about a boy from Clearwater, Florida, who desperately wants out of his town, and he can't seem to get a scholarship, so his boyfriend tells him about this drag competition, and he's always wanted to be a drag queen, and in New York, and convinces him to enter. And he had only attempted drag one other time, and he got booed off the stage and made fun of, and so he's reluctant to do it, but he does eventually agree to do it, and he enters this drag competition, and it's a really cute, fun, contemporary book, but it's so unrealistic. So if you want to get out of reality for a while, definitely check it out. It's cute, it's fluffy, it's fun, but none of this would have ever happen. Like, it's just wholly unbelievable. So I ended up giving it 2.5 stars just because I'm 33 and cynical, and I just couldn't completely buy into it. But I do think it is worth a read, so don't let the 2.5 stars like dissuade you. It's cute, it's fun. Go forth and enjoy. The next book I finished was 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray, which is the first book in the Firebird trilogy, and just appreciate how pretty these covers are. I love them so much. I did mention this in my bookish goals, that it was one of the series I wanted to read this year, and that I wasn't enjoying it. I did end up giving it 3.5 stars. I don't think Claudia Gray does a good job of developing her characters, but eventually the plot won me out. It's just a really interesting plot. Her father is murdered, and at the beginning of the book, Theo, one of his assistants, comes to her and says that he has Firebird that he's going to fix and travel to the other dimension to catch his murderer. And that's where it really takes off. You're kind of dropped right in the middle, so you don't really get development. So it's hard to buy into the romance aspect of it because you don't really know the male characters at all, and there's not even like flashbacks. This book would have really benefited from flashbacks, so we got to know them a little better because I feel no attachment to them. But it's still a really interesting, fun read, especially the dimensions part, because like multiverses, that's awesome. Like, of course, it's awesome. So I definitely think it's worth a read, and I'm excited to read the second one. However, this one does have a pretty, like, it's not like too bad of a cliffhanger. So I don't feel the need to dive right into the second one, but I do want to read it soon. I just have library books that I need to finish. The fifth book that I read was called If You Could Be Mine by Sarah Farizan. Not sure how you say her name. I'm very sorry if I just butchered that, but it's about two Iranian girls that are in love, and it is illegal to be gay in Iran. And the one girl is having an arranged marriage, and the other girl, the narrator, Sahar, is trying to figure out a way to be with her and to stop the marriage. It's really, really good. You learn a lot about how Iran is. Like, honestly, Iran is a lot more forward thinking. I mean, they're still not forward thinking, but more than I thought they would be, because being trans is not against the law. Go figure. I never would have guessed that. They actually have, Thailand has the most gender reassignment surgeries, and Iran is second. Who would have ever guessed that? Not me. But I love Sahar. She's such a sweet, smart girl, and she loves Nazreen so much. And there's just a really good cast of characters, and I just really liked it. I really, really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I can't even tell you anything else because it'll spoil it, but it's worth reading. Especially, it fills several different boxes on Diversity Bingo. I think I'm using it for a non-Western setting, but it also works for a West Asian setting, an Arab character. I think it even fits a hijabi character. So if you're doing Diversity Bingo, it's definitely one that can check off a lot of boxes. Of course, you can't use it for every box, but if you need to fill one of those boxes, like, it fits several of them. And the author is Iranian American, so she's a person of color. Like, it can check off several boxes if you're looking for that, but it's really worth a read. And her other book that I read, Tell Me Again How I Crush You Feel, is also really, really good. And that one's cutesy. It's less sad than this one, so, you know. But that one takes place in America, I think, so it wouldn't count. Anyway, those are the first 5 books that I read this year. I have read a couple comics, so there will be a comic wrap-up at the end of the month. And yeah, that's it for me. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you like them. If the second book is better, because I might jump into it sooner if it is. And yeah, that's it for me. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye! So I forgot to do my reading challenge check-in, and I really don't feel like resetting up my tripod, so I'm just going to film it really quick and tell you how it's going. And my Pop Sugar challenge, I used The Miserable Mill, which is one of the Lemony Snicket books, to count as a book by an author who has a pseudonym because his real name is Daniel Handler. I used 1,000 Pieces of You as the first book in a series you haven't read before, and I used The Austere Academy as a book with an eccentric character. That's another one of the Lemony Snicket books, and Olaf is very eccentric. I'm sure I could plug in If You Could Be Mine in one of these, but I haven't yet because I just finished that yesterday. The next challenge I'm doing is Queer 52, and I didn't read anything of those, and I never announced that I was doing that challenge. But I'll talk more about it when I remember to set up my tripod and actually remember to check in, because I am doing 2 other challenges that I didn't talk about in my book goal video. Diversity Bingo, I have checked off, I think, 3. I used If You Could Be Mine as a non-Western real-world setting. I used Drag Teen as an underrepresented body type because he is chubby and the main girl in it is fat. And those are the only 2 I've checked off. So, yeah. The 4th challenge, and one that I did not mention I was going to do, is the Read Harder Challenge from Book Riot. And I did check off read a YA or middle grade novel by an author who identifies as LGBTQ+, and I used Drag Teen as that because Jeffrey Self, I'm pretty sure, identifies as gay. So that's my challenge check-in. Next time I hope to be more organized and actually remember to do it when I'm sitting with my tripod set up. So, all right. Bye.